Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Letha. This is Michael Buckoff, the founder of the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL iBT. I'm also the founder of the Speak Clearly subscription service for non-native speakers of American English. So you've posted a writing practice test on one of the password protected pages of your lessons. So let's take a look at it. So this is the TOEFL independent speaking task. Here's a question. Many students have to live with roommates while going to school or university. What are some of the important qualities of a good roommate? Use specific reasons and examples to explain why these qualities are important. So first of all, it looks like you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have, it's kind of weird here. The way that you've saved this, or at least how you posted it, you have 1, 2, 3, you have 4 main paragraphs and then 2 sentences, which is a little bit odd. But let's see what you have in the introduction. So you say, when we join any university or college, I wouldn't say join in, just join. So when we join a university or college, comma, we have to stay back in the dorms. We need to stay with roommates. I wouldn't say stay back, just say stay with roommates who have a different nationality, a different approach of life, and attitude. Sometimes we don't have an option to choose a roommate according to our choice. So we need to adjust with the person who, I would say is, not are, who is assigned to us. But I feel if my roommate, and I would use here has, some important qualities like, and here I would use the word being, use a gerund, being friendly, trustworthy, and maybe having a good character. You might say that. So to get your parallel structure correct, maybe say being friendly, being trustworthy, and having a good character. Again, being, having, and being, and having. I would be happy to share my room with him. First of all, getting a roommate who is friendly will be a great relaxation to me. I am a person who is friendly with everyone, particularly to a new person who is coming away from home the first time in his life. For instance, I remember when I stayed in a dorm in my college life, I joined a college in a different state. I wouldn't say in a college, I joined a college. In India, the different states, how about this? In India, the people in different states will talk a different language. The climate will be different, and even the food. So I'm worried about, I would use here, not of. I'm worried about all these things. I don't know anyone from my state. I was so tense. I would use the word tense as an adjective, not a verb. I was so tense and not feeling, I would just say I was so tense and homesick since it was my first time to be away from my parents. But luckily, I got a roommate who was friendly, and I became so happy to share my feelings with her. That roommate is still my best friend. Alright, pretty good. So far, your introduction, you have a 3-point thesis. It looks like in the body paragraphs, you're developing each point in body paragraphs 2, 3, and 4. So paragraph 3, you say, next, I would appreciate if my roommate, I would use here, if my roommate is trustworthy. I should be able to go to classes by keeping my valuables in my room. If my roommate is a trustworthy person, comma, I can feel the dorm as my home. You're having some trouble with the grammar. You might say, I can feel as if the dorm were my home. I would say there again, I can feel as if the dorm were my home. I don't want to lose my valuables and blame my roommate and be suspicious. So I would say again here, I don't want to lose my valuables and blame my roommate. I wouldn't say blame on, just say blame my roommate and be suspicious. I would probably say would here because it hasn't happened. It would spoil our relationship. For example, if I remove my chain, my gold chain, and keep it on the table instead of in, keep it on the table and go to have a bath, I think you have a fragment here. I mean, you got, basically you have that dependent clause, if I remove my chain, but there's no main subject and no main verb there. I'm not sure that last sentence is working. Let me see if I can complete the idea of what you're trying to say. So for example, if I remove my gold chain and keep it on the table and go to have a bath, comma, I would hope that when I return, the gold chain would still be there. That's probably how I would correct that sentence. So I think you're limited. This is not good for you. Not good for TOEFL. Because you don't want your grammar to prevent you from full expression of ideas. And that can cause a lower score. Just that one sentence. I know what you're trying to say, but you couldn't say it. Anyway, I would say I would feel, not feel. I would feel angry at my roommate and I wouldn't be able to ask her. But if she did take it and returned it to me, I would be happy. So you started to have some trouble in that paragraph 3 in talking about hypothetical conditions, things that haven't happened, but things which might happen. Okay, let's look at your conclusion, or your paragraph. Looks like paragraph 4. Finally, my roommate should be of a good character, like I would use gerund here, like studying well, attending all classes, having good friends, comma, all this helping me to follow the same things in my life. So you can't say all this will help, because if you do that, you turn that into an independent clause, and then that ends up giving you what's called a comma splice. You have two possible choices here. You could say all this helping me, or all of which will help me. That's also a way. You could turn that second independent clause into an adjective clause, or you could reduce it into a participial phrase. If my roommate has a good circle of friends, I would say not good friend circle, a good circle of friends, I can be friendly with him or her. Remember, you use friends singular, so you can't use them because them is plural. I don't need a roommate who is a drug addict or lazy in his studies. We have an impact on our roommate, I would say, in our lives. My parents always advise, A-D-V-I-S-E, advise me to be in a good friend, in a good circle of friends, which will help me to be a good citizen. Again, I made some more corrections there. Pay attention. When we are away from our parents, nobody is there to advise us. Again, A-D-V-I-S-E. Advice is a noun. Advise is a verb. When we do wrong things. But if we get a roommate who is of good character, it will reflect in our character. So as a conclusion, I prefer my roommate should be friendly, trustworthy, and of good character. Okay, so let's talk about the positives and the negatives here. So the positive aspects of your writing is definitely you understand how to organize, I think, things. You move typically from more general to more specific information. You frame an argument. Your thesis is definitely an argument. And the topic sentences in the body paragraphs, they go back and restate the key points in the article, They restate the key points in the thesis one by one. So that's good. You have some details in each paragraph to help support your generalizations. You do use transition words. You probably could use more of them, but use words like first of all, next, finally, words like but, which help show relationships, for instance. Those things are all good. So those are positive aspects of it. Negative aspects of it, I did make quite a few corrections. So sometimes grammar, it interferes in your ability, I think, to communicate. So sometimes you're not sure of whether to use the verb form or the noun form, or use the noun form. You're not aware there's a verb form. You have some problems with sentence structure, maybe with a few comma splices here and there. Sometimes you have trouble when you're talking about hypothetical situations, especially maybe things, what I call present or past impossible type conditions. So you do have some problems in there. So how would you score right now? I think your grammar errors are there, but they don't interfere for the most part in my understanding your ideas, so that's good. You're probably looking right now at about 4.0 out of 5. I think it will be very difficult for you to score higher than 4 on this particular writing practice test. Anyway, again, thank you for doing the practice test. Bye-bye.